I call our agenda meeting to order. And with that in mind, please silence your cell phones. Invocation today will be Commissioner Joe DeMarco. Pledge of Allegiance is Commissioner Barbara Aycock. Then we'll have the approval of the minutes, and then any adjustments to our agenda.
No, sir.
No adjustments to the agenda. Special presentations, presentation of a distribution check by ABC Board General Manager Darnay Barefoot. And then we'll have a presentation by Sheriff Larry Pierce and Michelle Bass regarding the Comprehensive Opioid Stimulant and Substance Use Program. At 9:30, we'll have a public hearing to receive comments regarding an economic incentive agreement with Scout Limited Incorporated. The Board of Commissioners will consider a $8,450 incentive grant payable over 3 years in exchange for the company's commitment to invest $455,000 in capital improvements and create 13 jobs in Wayne County. After the public hearing, the Board of Commissioners may take action. And then we'll also have a public hearing to receive public comments regarding an economic incentive agreement with Goshen Engineering. The Board of Commissioners will consider a $45,000 incentive grant payable over 3 years in exchange for the company's commitment to invest $3,912,601. I don't know where the $1 came from. In capital improvements and create 25 jobs in Wayne County. After the public hearing, the Board of Commissioners may take action. Under unfinished business, a motion to adopt a revised budget ordinance for fiscal year 25-26. And if you will, kind of give us a rundown on that.
To do the presentation at the 9 o'clock?
No, we'll wait. But just give us an idea of why we are doing
Okay,
this.
so the revised budget ordinance that I'll be proposing to you is a result of the financial performance indicators of concern. There was a concern that was required that we be noted by the local government commission. We had a few over budget items in a detailed, at the detail level, and I'll be proposing that we change that to the functional level. No change in budget, just from a presentation standpoint, a summary document as opposed to a detail.
Okay. Any questions? All right, then we'll go to consent agenda, budget amendments.
We will begin with number 259, and this is from our Department of Social Services. The purpose of this budget amendment is to realign the budget to pay for additional travel that was not anticipated for the current year.
Okay, any questions on that?
Number 260, this one is from our Public Health Department. This is to appropriate additional funds given by the agreement addendum for the BCCCP program to increase screening targets and diagnostic services for those enrolled patients. Number 261. This is from our finance office in regards to our some Wayne County Public School lottery funds. This is needed to recognize revenues and expenditures for funding from the public school repair and renovation lottery funds for Tommy's Road Elementary, chillers replacement, re-roofing of C.B. Aycock High School area, Charles B. Aycock High chiller replacement, and Rosewood High School chiller replacement. That's a total of $876,117.65. These are coming from the North Carolina Lottery.
I did have a question when I saw this before, because I wasn't aware that there were repair costs that came from the lottery. Is this on an annual basis?
This is a special fund, so if we look at the memo, the bottom paragraph, this was established back in 2021, and this is the first time that we're drawing down these funds. These funds are specifically purposed for public school buildings, and they have to have architectural stamps involvement.
Cannot be used for new construction.
Do I know?
Cannot be used for new construction.
Well, is it a recurring dollars that are put into the fund?
My understanding is it is depending upon the budget that the state passes. So, and I do believe that fund, does it accrue interest, Miss Angie?
Yes, it does.
It does.
And we began this, like I said, back in 2021, and we have earned $1.6 million in this fund. After these expenses are paid, we will have a balance of 1.3.
Let me hear
I
this
do-
again.
I do apologize. Let me restate that.
Okay.
We had just over around 2.2 million, and after these expenses are paid, we will have 1.3 remaining to be used by the schools.
And these funds are to be used for improvements to existing schools?
Existing facilities.
Existing
repair, renovation.
facilities.
I do not believe you can use it. I don't think you can use it for athletic facilities or those things or new construction, but it can be used for chiller repair, building repair. And it was a special fund set aside by the General Assembly using lottery proceeds. And I believe it is administered by the Office of Public School Planning, which is why you have to have all of those engineered documents and things before you can move through and they release the funding for it.
Well, I'm glad to hear it, but this is the first I've heard that that fund existed. So I take it on an annual basis based upon the budget. They set aside a certain amount per school district, and then they accumulate, and at some point, then they can be used.
Yes, sir. But there is a document I know that we have to sign as commissioners on our side because we hold the control over the purse string in agreement with the school district for what to use that money for. Because it flows through the county instead of being a direct appropriation to the school board to use.
Well, good news. Okay, any other questions? Thank you.
And our final budget amendment, number 264 from Central Services. The purpose of this budget amendment is to reallocate funds from service charges to insurance and bonding for insurance coverage on a claim.
Okay, any questions? Okay, thank you. Under consent agenda, also, we have a motion to adopt Resolution 2026-3, a resolution adopting the 53rd Amendment to the Position Classification and Pay Plan of Wayne County.
I can talk about this. This is for, we discussed this at the budget retreat. We're going to do some reshuffling in the DSS legal department. We currently have a vacancy for a paralegal position, and after consulting with everyone over there, we'd like to create a position just for legal assistant, which would be more clerical in nature. So we're going to leave that paralegal position vacant and then create this position. So there'll be no budget change. So
Okay,
it's just kind of reorganizing.
any questions? Okay, our next item is a motion to approve the statement of purpose and rules of procedure of the Wayne County Facilities Committee.
That's basically a set of rules that our facilities committee is recommended adopting on how the facility committee operates and how it goes through its reporting back to the Board of Commissioners. And we're looking for approval on that. Anything else you'd like to add?
No, sir. Being the facilities chair and noticing that we really didn't have anything in writing for how the committee operated, it being the only standing committee that we currently have as a county, I put some things together and asked for Andrew to review it and then the facilities committee reviewed it, and voted to bring it to the commissioners for approval, because we felt like that the entire board needed to approve it and adopt it as operating procedures, basically in a statement of purpose for the facilities committee.
Okay, any questions on that? All right, then item 11 is a motion to approve utility agreement between the town of Seven Springs and the county of Wayne as recommended by the Facilities Committee.
This is, we currently have an agreement in place with the town of Seven Springs. So back in, for their sewer treatment, so back in the early 2000s, that's when the line was initially built. So Seven Springs owns the line. It was grant funded. Partially, the town got some grant funds, and then we also assisted. At the time, this would be around 2003, we entered into an agreement just outlining the funding responsibilities for construction and then also the operation of the line. So that line runs all the way up. It goes through Southern Wayne High School, Georgia Pacific, and then it'll eventually run into our line. Southeast Wayne Sanitary District actually operates the line on behalf of the town of Seven Springs. They were in the position now, they were not willing to continue with that existing agreement until the town entered into new agreements with the county and also with the school board. Because the school board owns or maintains those pump stations at the schools that are on the line. So in order to proceed, the sanitary district wanted new agreements in place with both entities. The school board has entered into an agreement with the town whereby they're gonna split the costs of maintenance on those pump stations for a period of 5 years, after which the school system will take over all maintenance costs associated with that. So we're the last piece of this. So really, in terms of operationally, nothing really changes. So basically, the town will oversee all the maintenance. We have no costs associated with the maintenance of the line. We will have 2 flow meters on there, and then the maximum that they're allowed to pump into our system is 50,000 gallons per day, per month. And then it'd be a year-to-year agreement with a 90-day cancellation clause. And in the event that we do cancel it, we would have the option to take over any of the line that's outside the town limits. In speaking with the town attorney, I expressed to him, our ongoing merger regionalization plans and how this could factor into that depending on how that study turns out, so.
Okay, any questions? Okay, item 12 is a motion to approve the relocation of the day reporting center to 426 West Pine Street, Goldsboro, the old School Street School, as recommended by the Facilities Committee.
Yes, sir. That's, currently day reporting occupies a structure on Simmons Street. It's quite small. It's over on the campus of where the old health department was located. We vacated that, and that property is currently out to be appraised, or, going to be appraised and possibly surplus by the commissioners. At a future date, we're looking to expand their space by moving into the building on the left out at the School Street School location. The Facilities Committee has recommended that, to ask for that permission to do so.
Okay. Any questions on that? Item 13 is a motion to approve signage on North William Street side of Kerry Winders Detention Center as recommended by the Facilities Committee.
Yes, sir. That would be placing the same type of sign that's on the south side of the building. Look very similar, same size and everything, and be placed on the west facing, street facing side. Facilities Committee has reviewed it and recommends approval, and it seeks the board's approval.
Okay, any questions on that?
Yes, when and if the board approves it, what's gonna be the time frame for getting the signage in place?
I can let you know after the meeting. I mean, we'd have to get with Facility Services. I don't think it would take too long. But, I mean, I'm sure it would take several weeks to get the letters in, and actually get them mounted. But I can let you know exactly, when we get it ordered.
would that, service have to would it have to go out to bid? Or would
I
it
don't
just
think
be?
so. No, it would be under the threshold.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, any other questions? Okay, item 14, a motion to approve the relocation of guardian ad litem offices to the second floor of the courthouse and creation of an attorney-client meeting space on the third floor of the courthouse as recommended by the Facilities Committee.
Yes, sir. We've had a request from our court system that and also from Guardian ad litem. They're in need of additional space due to having to house some, office personnel from Lenore County for the next year due to Lenore County renovating their courthouse. They're also, in a tight space over there currently now on the third floor. They're requesting or have asked to be located down to the first floor in the old part of the courthouse where child support used to be. I don't think it'll take the entire space, but, they asked that, and we also have had a request that we have, some space made available for attorney-client meeting spaces and access to the internet for visiting attorneys so they can, get their work done while they're here waiting on court. And the old Guardian ad litem space would make a perfect spot for that. And so the Facilities Committee has reviewed this, taken it into consideration, made a recommendation to the Board of Commissioners that it be approved.
Any questions? And item 15 is a motion to establish a public hearing on March 17th, 2026 at 9:15 a.m. in the Commissioners' Meeting Room in the Wayne County Courthouse Annex, 224 East Walnut Street, Goldsboro, North Carolina, to receive public comments on an economic development agreement between Wayne County and the Wayne County Development Alliance to construct a 50,000 square foot shell building on Lot 6 in Park East Industrial Park.
And this is similar to the agreement that we did have in place for Lot 7 prior to us finding a buyer for that. But WCDA would like to move forward with the shell building on Lot 6. So we need to have a public hearing. And then I've drafted an economic development agreement that outlines the funding obligations of each party, who will oversee construction and all of those things. It mirrors what we did for the Pelson property, and like I said, what we were gonna do for Lot 7. So, just kind of our next shell building in Park East, and we're ready to move forward with that.
Okay, any questions on that item? After that, we'll have a county manager's report, Board of Commissioners committee reports, a closed session, which we would need a closed session.
Yes, we do.
Then we will recess to the Farm Bureau luncheon, and then a closed session after that, and then we will adjourn. And do I have a motion, we go into closed session?
So moved, Mr. Chair.
All right, we have a motion to go into closed session.
And that would be to consult with your attorney employed by the board in order to maintain attorney and client privilege.
Okay, if you please vote.
Commissioner Williams, did your vote pop up?
Oh, I apologize. There we go.
Okay, that passed, so we're going into closed session. Okay, and we are recessing until 9 o'clock. Okay, I'll call our February 17th Board of Commissioners meeting to order. Commissioners are reminded of their duty to avoid conflicts of interest consistent with state law and Wayne County policies. Any commissioner who has an actual or potential conflict of interest with respect to any matter on the agenda should disclose the conflict prior to the meeting. Today, our invocation is Commissioner Joe DeMarco with the Pledge of Allegiance by Commissioner Barbara Aycock.
Let us pray. Almighty God, we come before you today with gratitude for the opportunity to serve and gather in this place. We ask for your wisdom, humility, and clarity to guide the decisions made here today. Grant these commissioners discernment as they deliberate fairness, as they decide, and integrity in all that they do. May their actions reflect a commitment to well-being, safety, and prosperity of all citizens of Wayne County. Thank you for your freedoms we enjoy and for the responsibility entrusted to those you lead. May our efforts today be guided by what is just, wise, and for the common good. Amen.
Please stand, pledge allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you.
Okay, we'll have the, a motion to approve the minutes of February 3rd.
So moved.
All right, we have a motion. Please vote. And that passed unanimously. We've got then a discussion of adjustment of the agenda.
No adjustment, sir.
No adjustments. Well, that's good. And special presentations, we need a presentation of it.
Have a motion.
Oh, I'm sorry. We have a motion to approve the agenda.
So moved.
All right, we got a motion on the floor. I was in a hurry to get this check.
Commissioner Williams, did your vote pop up?
It did, yes.
Okay, and that passed unanimously as well. Under special presentations, we have a presentation of a distribution check by ABC Board General Manager Darnay Barefoot. Mr. Barefoot,
Good morning.
good, welcome.
Commissioners. Hope everybody's doing well.
Yes, sir.
It's that time of the year again to, bring a check. I can hold on to it. and
Well,
get
I'm
out
gonna
money
come down
gets-
there and let you present it to me.
All right. Check at this point is for, $121,500 for this distribution.
Thank you.
How much was that again?
121,500. So, let me sign it. Things have been going well. As you know, we're, about to get our new store open out at Rosewood. Hope y'all go by and take a look. And invite all of you to come by our system and, take a look and see what's going on. Doors are always open, and, glad we can support Wayne County. Thank you, sir.
Well, thank you.
And,
Come back often.
Awesome. Okay, we'll do the best we can. Thank you.
Well, let me have this
Mr. Barefoot, how's the facility going?
It's
in the-
going-
In the industrial park?
It's going good. So far, so good. Weather's been delaying things, but other than that, then that'll be on the new warehouse and office space. So, last 3 years, we've come a long way.
You have it, definitely
We've come a
have.
long way.
Great leadership.
And one thing I would like to say, this is the 90th anniversary of ABC statewide. And we came to being in Wayne County in 1964. So we've been here a while. And what a lot of people don't understand is how much money the controlled state gives back in. They give distributions, as you see. We support the drug and alcohol programs, gets money, law enforcement, tax, revenue coming in, bottle tax to the county. So there's a lot going on that comes back into the county. And the main thing is, what a lot of people don't understand, and we're trying to get this story out because it's come up in recent past, is everybody's tax money for the ABC board. Well, it's not funded by any tax money. I don't know if everybody's aware of that. It, has to fund itself. And, so that's one of the things that has come up recently. Well, you know, we pay our tax money to keep y'all going, but it's not tax funded. So I want to kind of clear that up so people understand. We have to self-support ourselves, pay our bills, and make sure the distributions are passed out to all these, different items. And our county attorney can verify all this with me. He sits in our meetings on, Wednesdays. In fact, we got one tomorrow, so. But, thank y'all again for what you do, and the door's always open. So,
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, sir.
Have a good day.
Thank you.
All right, our next matter is, we have a presentation by Sheriff Larry Pierce and Marshall Bass regarding the comprehensive opioid stimulant and substance use, program. Welcome, Sheriff.
Good morning. Thank you all for having us this morning. I'm going to turn it over to Ms. Michelle Bass, but I just want to preface it by saying we were able to get a federal grant. We applied about 5 years ago, but it took a while to get it and get it implemented. But it was, we and Durham County were some of the first counties that had a program of this type. And Ms. Bass was very instrumental in getting it set up for Wayne County to help the people that are in the detention center, to help them overcome some of their problems with abuse of substances. So I'll turn it over to her and let her tell you about it.
Okay.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Thank you for your time this morning. As the sheriff said, in October of 2020, we were awarded a COSAP grant, a federal fund. COSAP stands for Comprehensive Opioid Stimulant Substance Use Program, and we were awarded $900,000 for 3 years. We actually completed the funding in September of 2025, so it went for 5 years. And we have completely closed out the funding, so we wanted to share our results with you since that funding has been completed. Just to review, we wanted to remind you that our substance misuse program is completely voluntary. We target all substances, and there are absolutely no incentives for participating with our program. The center of our model is around peer support specialists. A peer support specialist is someone with lived experience, and our peer support provider is Dixon Social Interactive Services. The peer support specialist will go into the jail, build rapport with the individual so that that relationship will continue in the community. And that's a key part of our program model. Oh, it went faster than I wanted it to. Another key component that was the vision of our sheriff in this program was to reduce recidivism. We have individuals 10 years, 20 years coming in and out of our jail. He wanted to see that reduced. And another key component in our program, I'm sorry, I'm not sure why it's advancing on its own. Another key component of our program was to reduce one of the barriers in reentry to the community, which is housing. So we had a focus of implementing new or expanding on existing transitional housing. And we completed that in this program. We had a housing agency that did expand twice, and then we were also able to look at a neighboring county who wanted to implement services in Wayne County and help them get implemented. Another key component that you probably hear with our substance misuse program is medication-assisted treatment. That is now being offered in the jail because of this program and this funding. That is offered by our medical provider only. They provide the MAT services and the counseling. The substance misuse program provides the psychosocial support that enhances the effectiveness of the treatment. And then we were also able to track those participants. Our initial goal, which you'll find interesting, we wanted to try to reach at least 10% of those participants to 6 months of sobriety post-enrollment, okay? So that's how we set this up initially. Here are our results. So for the 5 years, we served 457 unduplicated individuals in our program. 80% of those we retained for at least 30 days. We also had a recidivism rate of 6% for those that went into day reporting center custody. Overall in our program, we had a recidivism rate of 4%. These are astounding numbers when we provide that kind of support. We also had, out of our total participants, 125 of those were receiving MAT in the jail, and we surpassed our goal with 26% of those reaching 6 months of sobriety.
What is MAT?
Medication-assisted treatment.
Okay.
Yes, sir. And so, overall, with all substances, we had 20% reach 6 months of sobriety post-enrollment. So these are some foundational lessons that we want to take strategically moving forward in our program. In addition to this, we had some unexpected achievements that I wanted to share with you, because not only were we able to implement new housing in our program, but we now have the Wayne County Reentry Council. This was birthed out of our management team with this program and is now under the leadership of Wayne Community College as of April 2022. In the 3 short years under their leadership with Renita Dawson, they have now received in 2025 the Champion for Attainment Award, and they enrolled 493 Wayne County citizens in 2025. So this is now a sustainable resource in our community, all based off of this vision that Sheriff Pierce had. We also had some other unexpected achievements that I consider because Wayne County was represented here in these achievements. The state wanted Wayne County represented when they were doing a panelist discussion at the 2023 North Carolina Jail Symposium. But then on a national scale, BJA asked for Wayne County to be represented at the RX Summit in 2023 that they host in Atlanta, Georgia. We were also asked to participate, Wayne County, in the 2025 Building Bridges program. Again, that's a BJA-funded program. That's a program where across the nation, counties can raise their hand and say, we would like to offer programs, services in the jail. How do we do that? And they asked us to come in and help them with those initiatives. And then last, we were part of a Rural Lessons Learned video series. We were represented in more than one of those videos that was produced and published there. So overall, we have great collaborative partners between Day Reporting Center, Dixon Social Interactive Services. We now have the Reentry Council. We have some new housing in our community, some new resources. I consider the Wayne County Detention Center Substance Misuse Program another one of those resources that we're now offering in the jail. And we were able to reduce recidivism as well as surpass our goals with 6 months of sobriety post-enrollment. Are there any questions?
Okay, then we got questions? Well, Commissioner?
What is the age range that we're looking at here?
Anyone over 18,
Any 18?
anyone in the jail.
Okay.
Okay, any other questions, comments?
Are there concerns with the opioid funds as those funds dwindle down? Being able to continue programs like this, is there a
So
partnership or a way to continue it?
we will probably be talking, I'm sure the sheriff will be looking at that in a budget since we have 3 years that we have just tapped into on the opioid funds.
Okay, any other questions?
I just want to thank you. You know, it seems like there are some strides taking place in Wayne County in regard to our young, adults that are in the facility here. So thank you again for, the hard work. Thank you, Sheriff.
Thank you for the opportunity to serve. It's been a great program and would love to see it continue.
Well, it is a great program, and you and the sheriff need to be commended for bringing that here, because reaching out and getting those grants to fund that was very important. We thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Sheriff Pierce.
Okay, we are moving now to our unfinished business. A motion to adopt revised budget ordinance for fiscal year 25-26. And we'll hear from our finance director.
Good morning.
I think you have a presentation for
I
us.
do. So what I have before you this morning is a presentation, short presentation, to help you visually see and explain why we are proposing to revise our originally adopted 25-26 budget ordinance. In your agenda packet, you have a memo and a full draft of the revised budget ordinance being proposed. I will be going over what is in that document that is changing. So as you may recall, in our 2025 audit, we received a concern related to the FPIC, which is the Financial Performance Indicators of Concern. This is being required to report because of a few line items at the most detailed budget level showed as over budget by the State and Local Finance Division of the LGC. These overages were caused by audit-related entries that are routinely posted as part of our year-end audit process. This is a normal and required practice and has resulted in minor overages in prior years as well. However, since the FPIC requirements began in 2021, this is the first time that this concern was required to be noted. As you can see in our current budget ordinance, this entire document, it's rather lengthy. That's because of the detail. And as part of the response to the local government financial division of the LGC, we are committed to revising this format as corrective action. So this budget is 302 pages. The object detail of this budget is 245 pages. So we committed to correcting that. What I want you to understand and be comfortable with is what is not changing. The budget amendment policy, the originally adopted budget amounts, and your authority and your oversight. These are not changing. What is changing, if approved, is the summarized format, which improves clarity and improves compliance. This is our current budget ordinance and how it was adopted. You can see that the highlighted area, it says, the same being adopted by the department or agency within each fund as listed in this volume, the detail. And to your right, you see some screenshots of what is in this book. A recommendation is being made today to revise the originally adopted budget. No change in the amounts that you have approved. This is the proposed revised 25-26 budget ordinance. The highlighted areas read as follows. Whereas, after adoption, it was determined that the budget should be adopted at the functional level to be in conformance with the North Carolina Local Budget and Fiscal Control Act in Article 3, Chapter 159 of the North Carolina General Statutes. Now therefore be it ordained by the Board of Commissioners of Wayne County, North Carolina, it reaffirms the fiscal year 25-26 without change to tax rates or adopted revenue and or expenditure amounts, but with the ordinance updated to reflect the budget at the functional level, which is similar to presentation within each annual audit as follows. I have a couple of screenshots here. I did not include the full draft in the presentation, but it was included in your agenda. What you will see is the general fund at the bottom. These are the individual function levels of the general fund, and then the other funds are listed in summary to the right.
So what are we actually looking at?
Okay. So all of your general fund departments are rolled up into the functional level. So for instance, the general government, that includes your attorney's office, county manager's office, all your central services departments like facilities, as well as the finance office. Public safety, that includes your 911, your sheriff, your detention, your EMS, and so forth. All of your general fund activities are lumped in this area. If you go to the right, fines and forfeitures funds, representative payee, these are all the individual special revenue enterprise funds. When I presented to you at the budget retreat, I went through and gave you the breakout of each departments and how they were rolled into each one of these funds.
So let's say with solid waste, we have
Solid waste,
$7 million, 7 million right here, little, well, over 7 million. What of that, since it's an enterprise fund, how much of that, the word I'm looking for, how much did we have to put into solid waste to cover it? I forgot what you call it. It was a name.
the
Transfer in,
transfers.
yes.
For solid waste, there are no transfers for the general fund.
Okay. What about the jet port?
The jet port. So in this example here, you will see this is the expenditure part. So let me go to the next screen. So that section was the total of all expenditures, the appropriations is 283 million. So the next section, you will see that's your total revenues. So if we come over to the jet port, it lays out the transfers as 163,000 and some change.
Okay. And for the Maxwell Center, the transfer would be 1,159,000.
That's correct.
That part of debt service though, in that 1 million?
Yes, sir, that's correct.
How much is that, of that, is that round figures, you know?
I can't recall that. I can look that up for you. I don't want to misstate.
But as far as the transfer into the general fund, that's covering the debt service.
That is right. Okay.
So if I could kind of briefly give you a synopsis of my take of this, is rather than presenting to the LGC our budget, which is detailed by line item, we are consolidating that to the point of a budget amount per department.
Yes,
Is that
it's
correct?
more of a summary than a detail.
And that is per the requirements of, what, the LGC?
Yes,
The LGC is required.
the financial.
But in the
division.
past, there was no problem.
No, sir.
But this past year during the audit, they determined that they would rather see it in this form. So we are amending our current budget to adopt that method of providing that
Yes.
budget.
That's correct.
We're amending our budget ordinance,
We're amending our original budget ordinance.
right, not the budget, just the budget
That
ordinance.
is correct.
Right, right.
In order to,
Okay, any questions?
I got another question. Under the audit the report that we had from, the auditor, under debt, which maybe I misunderstand, it's saying an income loss of 1,234,000 at the Maxwell Center, 922,000 at the jet port. And then it has transfers in with total different amounts than what you have here. So I'm trying to get the basis of what are we, of what's going on, because it's, you know what I'm saying? Like I try to look at this and be critical and really, so I really know this finance thing isn't the easiest thing to understand sometimes. So I don't know the accurate numbers of what that we're taking on from the Jetport or from the Maxwell Center with them being enterprises.
so what I'm presenting here is our current budget, not actual. What you're referring to is our actual from our audit of the 24-25 fiscal year. So that's the actual expenditure amounts. This is just what we anticipate either to receive or spend for 25-26.
Okay.
I got one question.
Okay.
Go one more slide over to, on the bottom left. I think that's what we need to put out for the public to be able to see exactly what,
I'm gonna go one more if you don't mind.
okay?
So this is showing our budget is balanced. The appropriations, which is the revenues, any transfers, user fees, is 283,000,000 $58,980.88. The upper left, that's your appropriations or your expenditure budget. The lower right is the revenue sources, which includes your property taxes, your sales taxes, any user fees, any insurance payments.
I was talking as far as categorizing it in like, in lump sum figures, is this goes to public safety, this goes to
Yes. Yeah, that
education,
one's
this,
here.
yeah, that's what I was talking about. That actually kind of gives everybody, this is what this is where the money is going.
That's right.
That's just Chris's opinion anyway. It simplifies things because all those other code things, you can't, unless you know what the code means, you're just
That's
looking
right.
at Greek. Okay,
It does make it easier to read and follow.
thank you, ma'am.
So, go ahead, I'm sorry. You go ahead.
No, go ahead, cause go ahead, I'll do mine afterwards.
Oh, you're saying this is, those numbers aren't actual?
No,
They're-
this
so-
is our budget.
So what are the losses? If, I mean, you know what I'm saying? Because if I don't know, I can't properly vote on something that I don't know.
So what this document is saying, if we go back to your Jetport, so your Jetport, your user fees, or we are estimating, we are planning for $1.2 million to come in from various revenue sources at the Jetport. Gas sales, mainly, and hangar rent. You have your miscellaneous, and then the transfers. The general fund needs to move $163,000 to the Jetport so it can pay all of its estimated expenses for the year.
Okay, so with what we're currently dealing with the LGC and everything, because we've never done this before.
Oh, we haven't.
You see what I'm saying? So I'm confused at what we're actually getting ready to vote on.
Oh, it's just the motion, for the ordinance, the new ordinance guidelines, so that's what we're voting on, not dollars today.
That is
If I may,
correct.
Mr.
Dollars are not changing.
So what we're simply being asked to do is how we report to the LGC based on the Uniform Chart of Accounts,
Correct.
right? And right now, the Uniform Chart of Accounts is fund, purpose, program, which is function, I'm thinking, object, and level. And the issue we had was simply that since we report to the LGC so detailed that we just had not a finding, but an indication that we had one, whether it was an object or a level down at the bottom that just did not balance, but the overall did. So what we're only simply being asked here to do is just how we report to the LGC is to back up to the fund level or the program level. So nothing actually changes on the budget, it's just how we're reporting it to the LGC. You have good questions.
Well, I get that, but I'm saying something had to change because the money wasn't adding up.
I think
Is what I'm saying, because previously the money wasn't adding up, so we had to do all of this, so something had to change, which we don't know the dollar amount that changed because we were never given that information from our last meeting. So that's why I'm questioning what I'm questioning. If I'm the only person that's ever asked for that dollar amount to see what it is or to see what's really going on, we keep voting kind of sort of blind to change things and do things, but without the entirety of all the information of everything that's going on, in my opinion. But once again, we don't need a majority to approve this. So, but I'm just asking my questions for myself.
Sure.
I got one more question.
If I could just get a quick clarification here, and that is, can you explain to the board in regards to which minute line items were out of balance?
There was four.
There were four.
The significant one was the hospitalization. Then you had 911, and the other two kind of leave me, but I can certainly get those.
So if I could go
They
to
were
the
in our-
hospitalization. In our finding, or not finding, but in the, where it was out of balance, can you explain why it would be out of balance?
Okay, so it wasn't out of balance, it was over budget.
It was over a budget.
Correct. On the object level. Now, hospitalization, we had a $300,000 claim $600,000 claim that came in after July 1st. The funds were not budgeted in the prior year because this was an excessive claim. That entry or that check, we don't know what our hospitalization claims are going to be until we receive the bill.
We're self-insured.
We're self-insured. So when that bill came in, we paid it in July of 2025. Since that bill has to do with claims that actually occurred in June, we report on a modified accrual basis. We are required to do that in our financial statements. You have to post any expenses backwards that were paid in 25-26 but occurred in the prior year. It's called an adjusting journal entry. This is normal
You
practice.
see, you accountants would understand every bit of
I
that.
know,
So
I don't
let
know.
me paraphrase that if I'm understanding it correctly. We had a claim that was in June.
Of
which was
2024?
Which was in the previous
Correct.
year. A claim,
24-25.
Right.
but the payment was made in July, which is the
Right.
next year.
Correct.
However, the state requires us to go back and actually apply that payment back in June because it is the time in which the incident occurred.
Correct.
Is that
And the
correct?
fund, we had run out of funds.
So-
budget. We had
So
run out
it
of
would have
budget.
shown it being out of balance
Out of
in
over
that
budget.
case.
Over budget.
Okay, well, Chair, this
Yes,
is my
go
last
ahead.
comment. We've established the hospital issue before, but we haven't established the other issues, the other three, and what the actual dollar amount was.
Okay, so those are a little different than the hospitalization. Medical examiner, 911, and there's one more.
DHHS. It was the, oh, you'll keep on talking.
Let's take medical examiner.
These were very small amounts compared to the
All right, let's take medical examiner.
If you had this set up, this budget ordinance, the budget would have been available because you're rolling it up to the functional level, okay? Since we approved our budget ordinance in the detail or the object level, the funds had run out, the budget had run out in that minute area. But you had funds available, budgeted in the function. And as we have done in many, many, many years past, we have always rolled and compressed that budget up to the functional level. The funds were there in that broad area.
So are you
They
saying
weren't-
that there was a line item that would have allowed you to pay that
Yes.
within the budget?
Yes,
But it was a different line item?
yes.
That
But
was-
it was in that department, in that function,
And that was regarding autopsies, correct?
yes.
Yeah, which doubled through the states.
Commissioner Foster, I'm hoping that we're getting. some
No, it
clarification.
didn't. I mean, but it's fine. It's fine. I mean, because, like I said, it's human services, child support, debt services, lease and debt, interest, expense, internal service funds, self-insurance. So it's a lot of area there that's great for me that I don't have the information for, but it's fine. I mean, we can move on.
DHHS was the child support, right? Bevan? Was that the child?
I think that's what it said.
Yeah,
Sorry.
okay, that was the other.
All right, Commissioner Williams.
Yeah, I just for formality, I just want to make a motion to adopt the revised budget ordinance for fiscal year 25-26.
Okay. All right, is there any discussion on the motion?
All right, so, Mr. Chair, just.
Yes.
So as the public knows, all we're doing today is changing our ordinance that we're going to report to the LGC to the function level, not the object level, which is one more layer of detail.
Yes.
And for clarification, I want to make sure that the public will still have available the breakdown of each department. That budget would still be online showing, would you call that the
object level.
the object level?
It
So
will not be contained under the budget ordinance, but
it
we
would
can.
not be,
No, this-
but as long as it's available for
Yes.
people to view.
Yes.
Okay. All right, we have a motion on the floor and there it is. And if you'd please vote.
Mine didn't pop up, but no for me.
Okay, the
think it's
motion
important.
passes 6-1.
I think it's important to note that if you were to budget at the object level still and to prevent a finding of that, indicator of that, you'd have to overinflate your budget so much that it would add, the total tax amount would be greater. The total budget amount would be greater, so you'd have to overinflate your budget to prevent that from occurring. It's just
Which is
naturally occurred in the past. It's never been an indicator until this year, so.
I agree. It's really complicated, but really they want you to almost increase the amount you're budgeting so you don't go over it. But if you do that, then you actually have to increase your revenues to offset it.
Correct.
Which means you gotta raise property taxes,
Possibly.
possibly. So, anyway,
Thank you.
thank you so much. Okay, we are now going to go to our public hearings. And we are opening our public hearing to receive public comments regarding an economic incentive agreement with Scout Limited Incorporated. The Board of Commissioners will consider a $8,450 incentive grant payable over 3 years in exchange for the company's commitment to invest $455,000 in capital improvements and create 13 jobs in Wayne County. And who will be presenting that information for us? Julie, you're up. Hello.
Hello.
Good morning.
Good morning.
That project is Project WIC, and, which is part design. They are in the process of purchasing a company out of Duluth, Georgia. So to bring a candle making operation to the Goldsboro facilities, which will help them expand. As he said, it's 13 new jobs, creating $455,000 in capital investment. So, let's see. They will get a build and reuse of $95,000, workforce incentive, North Carolina Community College System customized training, valued at around $20,800, workforce opportunity tax credits, $9,600 federal bonding program, and $15,000 job ready credits, and $10,000 total. So that is a total of about $150,000. Now that creates 13 new jobs. The local tax incentive will be $8,450 paid over 3 years. And that is not paid until they create the jobs and meet their obligation.
Okay.
Any questions?
All right, did anyone sign up for our public hearing?
We have two,
Okay,
Mr. Barry Merrill and a Miss Brittany Curvin LeMay.
okay, Barry Merrill.
I did not want to speak to this. I wanted to speak in the public section. Put in the wrong place.
Okay, all right, and who else?
Brittany Curvin LeMay.
Brittany LeMay? Yes?
Or I could just speak on a topic.
Public comment.
No, this would be only on this public hearing. Okay, with that in mind, I'll close the public hearing. And commissioners are able to take action if you so desire.
Mr. Chair, I make a motion to approve item number 8, or number 5, excuse me.
Okay, we have a motion on the floor. Any discussion on the motion? All right, and if you'll please vote. Okay, that unanimously. All right, I am opening our public hearing to receive public comments regarding an economic incentive agreement with Goshen Engineering. The Board of Commissioners will consider a $45,000 incentive grant payable over 3 years in exchange for the company's commitment to invest $3,912,601. Make sure we get that $1. In capital improvements and create 25 jobs in Wayne County. And so we've opened our public hearing. If you would give us a synopsis, Julie.
Okay. Goshen Engineering is a company over in Mount Olive. This is their second expansion. They're doing a really great job of growing in Mount Olive. And their average wages is way above the county average, which is $61,800 a year. And their capital investment will be $3,912,501. They are expanding by adding on to their facility, and do y'all have any questions about them?
Any questions? Okay, did anyone sign up for our public hearing?
No, sir.
Okay, I'll close our public hearing and the board may take action.
A motion to approve item number 6, Mr. Chair.
All right, we have a motion on the floor. If you all will please vote. And that passed unanimously as well.
Very good.
So please congratulate our newly investments here in Wayne County.
We have had a really good year with our local industries expanding here in Wayne County.
We definitely have had a good year.
Yes, we have.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
It was just brought to my attention that we had agreed that we would have public comment at this meeting because we could not at our last.
So what I would recommend is, we had it, but we had the weather. So what I would recommend, if you all want to go through the consent agenda, and then somebody, if the board wants to, make a motion to accept public comments in light of the weather conditions of the first one.
Okay. With that in mind, we've reviewed the consent agenda. Do I have a motion?
So move.
All right, we have a motion on the floor. Any discussion on the motion? Hearing none, please vote. And that passed 6-1. All right, could I hear a motion that we accept public comments at this particular meeting?
So moved.
All right, we've got a motion.
Can you raise your hand?
And if we'll raise our hand on that particular motion, I appreciate it. So that is unanimous. And with that in mind, I'll open up public comments to Mr. Merrill.
Yeah, I'm good now. All right. Mr. Chairman, Commissioners, Mr. Crumpler, appreciate the opportunity to come before you today. My name is Barry Merrill. I live on Club Knolls Road in Dudley, and my wife, Marilyn, is with me this morning. The reason I've come is 2 years ago, I've had some vision issues for the past number of years and stopped driving. And 2 years ago, my wife had a heart attack, and she no longer drives. And we have a number of medical appointments that we've been going to, and we found out after our family and some friends helped us get to a lot of places we needed to go about Gateway, about the Goldsboro-Wayne transportation. And for the past year and a half, we've been using Gateway quite a bit. In fact, we used Gateway this morning to come here to this meeting. And again, we go to medical appointments in Wayne County, in Goldsboro and in Mount Olive, but I have eye appointments in Durham and in Clayton, and Maryland has appointments in Chapel Hill and Smithfield that we've used Gateway for. And it's a great blessing. It's a great opportunity that we have. I know the federal government helps us out with Medicare and Medicaid to help fund that, but I believe there's some county funds that are contributed as well to help support that. We're very appreciative of the quality of service that they're able to provide for us. Want to say thank you for that. And I'm going to shout out, give a little bit for the drivers, Bob and Clayton and Elizabeth and Glenn, just wonderful people, caring people. One of the things that we're able sometimes to ride with is the Wayne Opportunity Center people that Gateway picks up and takes to their facility in the mornings and takes home in the afternoon. And again, I know how much that means to those young people, and I appreciate the opportunity that it offers to them. And I'll just, while I'm up here in public comment, I understand there's a sales tax referendum that's on the ballot, and I know Dr. Commissioner Harrell is very, very much aware of the needs that we have in Wayne County for improvement in our school facilities, and I hope that the county citizens will vote in support of that sales tax referendum. Thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Barry.
And our next,
Miss Brittany Curvin LeMay.
and welcome.
Good morning. Thank you for your time. Thank you for having me. I would like to just talk about some things that I observed about wildlife and land and discuss some just ideas on how to address. I'm not an expert. I just wanted to bring it to light. I've seen a lot of trees just getting cut down. I noticed there's like trash in certain areas where there are trees. I've also noticed there's a lot of animals being hit by vehicles. I see a lot of dead animals, baby raccoons, waterfowl like cranes and herons, foxes, coyotes, deers, hawks, and also owls and possums. And these animals, they're just looking for food, and they're just looking for a space where they're able to do what they were created to do. Every ecosystem has a role and does have a purpose. Unfortunately, with development, it's having a negative effect on these ecosystems. As you know, wildlife require the same things that we require, such as clean water source, a place to raise their young, and a room to hunt. Trees and plants and other shrubs also allow these animals to build their homes and to store food and protect from the weather. And I do understand the importance of economical growth, but I also think Wayne County can stand out in other ways and attract tourism by focusing on rebuilding wildlife habitat and protecting the places that have not been developed on yet. I think it's important to remember that there is value in nature itself. And once you develop on the land, it's going to be gone. And like I said, I don't have all the solutions, but I do have some ideas. In this area, the land has provided for generations with farming, and I think the past generations would want us to take care of the land that they passed down. I think it's important to return that favor by protecting and rebuilding the native habitat around here. And I'm not too familiar, but I believe there are options for landowners that they can make their land into conservation spaces, and it won't be able to be developed on, and it can be passed down to future generations. Another idea is starting habitat restoration projects throughout the county, and this looks like planting native oak trees, native flowers, and plants throughout the county. Also picking up trash and ensuring that there are clean water sources and that they're tested and that they're clean. And if they're not, then creating other like stuff like ponds for waterfowl and stuff and wetland wildlife. There are quite a few of native plant nurseries in North Carolina. So the process of planting and growing native plants can also provide an educational and as well as a volunteer options for the people in the community. Another idea is, and I know it's kind of like a highway coordination, but is building overhead highway land bridge for the animals to cross, or other building underground underpasses. This would reduce wildlife vehicle collisions. I know in Douglas County, Colorado, they just finished a wildlife bridge. I think it took about a year. And thank you for your time, and this concludes my brief.
Excuse me, ma'am, where do you notice most of the animals in the county that are being hit and dying?
I would say Highway 795, north and southbound. A lot of raccoons, and I know.
Thank you for, caring about, the animals and the community. A lot of people don't come here often and talk about, the animals and stuff. Maybe there's some type of organization you can create, and you can start to, do some things in line with, what you care about.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you.
Very much.
Thank you.
Okay, next on the agenda is the county manager's report.
Okay, that was a good presentation there, always talking about land conservation. But one thing she really hit on that strikes home is the amount of trash on our highways. And, it's a constant battle here of different agencies, and lots of people work on cleaning up our highways, including our sheriff's department. And, I ask people to, please don't throw your trash out the window. Please secure it in the bed of your truck, don't let it blow out of the back of a truck body. Because you clean up a road and 3 months later, it's right back in the same condition it was in before. I did it for years, cleaning up the same section of road for probably 10 years, and we were picking up the same trash every time, so that's a good point. GWTA, that was good to hear, reaffirmation sometimes of the things that you all are doing as a board and supporting these programs. It was good to see, that's the type of impact that GWTA has on people's lives every day. So that was nice. Good to hear from the COSUP grant update, also a very important program. Looks like it was very important, and, drug use is rampant and drug addiction is rampant today, and opioid addiction, and it looks like they're making a difference with that grant program. And of course, if you notice in Facebook and on the news, the legal aid office, I appreciate the commissioners taking that action to relocate legal aid. That was a good piece of positive news for Wayne County. That's all my comments.
Great. Okay, Board of Commissioners Committee reports. Mr. Williams.
Thank you. First off, I'd like for us to have a moment of silence for Reverend Jackson. He passed away this morning. So if we can just have a moment of silence for him. Thank you. And also, I had the opportunity to attend the chamber ribbon cutting for Core Care. Dr. K, I don't know if you guys know Dr. K. He started a location here. It's on Jefferson Avenue, and it provides primary care for medical weight loss and IV therapy. And that was wonderful. And that's all I have. Thank you.
Okay, Commissioner DeMarco.
I'm reporting these recommendations from the various boards, and we will vote on these at our next board meeting. Number one would be the reappointment of Kendall Lee to the Mount Olive Board of Adjustment and Planning Board. Number two, appoint Arrington Anderson to the Belfast-Paytown Sanitary District Board as recommended by the Sanitary Board. Finally, appoint Latoya Stallings to the Commissioners' Council for Older Adults. And like I said, we will take these recommendations in and vote on them at our next board meeting.
Okay. All right, anything further?
Nope, that's it.
Okay. Commissioner Aycock.
Thank you for going to the ribbon cutting. I mean, that's a big thing, for the commissioners to show up with the new businesses and stuff. That means a lot to the chamber, putting these on. And my thing is, please get out and vote. Now's the time to express, who you want in positions and what you want to happen in Wayne County. So don't complain if you don't vote.
Okay. Commissioner Foster?
No comment.
Mr. Harrell?
Yes, sir. Thank you, Mr. Chair. Just want to give the board a committee report for the Facilities Committee that met February 4th. Thank you to all of the county staff in here that sat with us for 2 hours of their time, because that was a very long meeting, and I know you'll say that's part of your job, but I'm sure you had other things to do and listen to us for 2 hours. But thank you for all of your input and everything you did. I would encourage my fellow commissioners to review the minutes for the Facilities Committee. Thank you, Kayla, for doing that, and Andrew too for reviewing those. I think it gave a good kind of synopsis on everything that we covered. We had a lengthy agenda. We had about 15 or 16 items on there. We talked about surplus property update, and some of our directions there, of course, to Mr. Crumpler was to rebid that because we only had one qualified bidder for that. We, of course, talked about the Seven Springs Sewer Agreement, which we took action upon today, had some lengthy discussion on that. We talked about Sheriff Winters and the jail signage, which we took action upon today. We also got an update on the Jeffries building and the fencing and where we are and that process that, of course, was approved by the commissioners a while back. We brought up the courthouse parking lot restriping that Commissioner Faulkner had a concern about, and Kendall is getting us some prices on that. We talked about commissioner parking as well, and we asked Andrew to look into the ADA requirements as we had options for potential parking or redoing some parking when it comes to commissioner meeting days. We talked about jail renovation. Kendall came and presented to us kind of a preliminary with the jail, and we asked for the architect to be invited to our March 3rd meeting to share that with us, as well as what a potential cost may be for that renovation of the jail. We also looked at the courthouse and courtroom potential renovation needs. As we got close to the end of our meeting, we recessed, and thanks to those commissioners that were able to attend or at least be able to go around and look at some of the courtroom potential needs, and of course we adjourned the Facilities Committee from there. We talked about School Street. I got an update on that potential property from Andrew when it comes to the deeds, and getting that all consolidated, as well as a potential layout of that facility that was requested, as well as we took action today upon having one group be in that building. And also Kendall mentioned that it might be an opportunity or a time to look at potentially naming that facility in the future if we wanted to change the name from a school, from School Street School. We discussed the old jail cooler and freezer relocation, potentially at Maxwell or at the farmer's market, and asked for some input from Director Michelle Estrada on that. We had a vehicle inventory list given to us, which was very lengthy, a lot of vehicles on that, as well as policies on take-home policies for departments. And as chair, I asked my fellow facility committee members just to go back and review those lists, those policies, so it can come back up to the next facilities committee to look at adopting those or making a motion to send those take-home policies at least to us as a full board for us to adopt or approve for the departments. And then, of course, we reviewed the statement of purpose for the Facilities Committee, and we took action upon that today. We took action upon the space for guardian ad litem and potentially having a space for visiting attorneys. That was a very interesting discussion and something that, I'm not going to say it was alarming, but it was interesting here that we sometimes have visiting attorneys that might not have a space to have a private conversation with a particular client. So maybe we can help accommodate that. And we covered a lot of stuff. So I want to thank our Facilities Committee for bearing with me for that first meeting, because it was 2 hours. It was lengthy, but I hope it was productive. And then again, thank you to the staff and all your input and feedback that you had given in that. So I could go longer, Mr. Chair, but that's all the committee report I have right now.
Okay, thank you. Commissioner Gurley.
To comment on Chip's comment about the trash, a figure of $9 million last year is what the state spent on picking up trash, I think. I think I'm right on that. Somewhere in the $9+ million. So it costs us money when people throws their trash out on the road. That could be used for other things as in road improvements and paving and things like that. One question for Commissioner Harold is, have you got any kind of update on the drainage, fixing the drainage at School Street? Has anybody said anything from the city about that?
That's not been fixed.
Okay.
No, I think that's still in the same state that it's in currently.
All right, the other thing is I attended apparently I'm the only one that can get on base, so, I attended the, Air Force Community Partnership Program last week, in absence of my fellow commissioners, and, so I spoke from the, hip as usual, and, on regards to what the, base means to the, county, so. I appreciate y'all hanging me out. I'm just messing. I appreciate the opportunity to speak there, so that's all I have.
Well, I certainly attempted to go. They just wouldn't let me on. I'm pleased to announce that we had our first 5 and 5 committee meeting. And, it was very productive. And for those that are not aware, this is a committee that's set up with 3 commissioners, the county manager and our county finance officer, along with the school, 3 board members, the superintendent and their finance officer. And we are going to be having these meetings every other month to try to establish a better communication between the Board of Commissioners and the school board. The first meeting went very, very well. I learned a lot. I think both sides are able to communicate in such a way that we understand each board's difficulties. I also attended a meeting at City Hall with the mayor, in discussing gun violence and how we could address gun violence in our communities. I attended a full day of Wayne Community College retreat, and people just really need to realize what a valuable asset that is to our community. And I'm hoping that the word will really get out of how important it is for our citizens to partake. We have some of the finest courses made available here in Wayne County. And people are coming from outside of our county to actually attend Wayne Community College. And then, of course, I attended the EDR meeting at the Transpark, and that's going well after the reorganization. So, any other comments that we might have? If not, I entertain a motion, we go into closed session.
So moved, Mr. Chair.
All right, we have a motion to go into closed session, and if we can get our,
And that would be to consult with your attorney employed by the board to preserve attorney-client privilege and for the protection of confidential competitive healthcare information under General Statute 131E-97.3.
okay, has everybody voted?
Oh,
I didn't get a.
You to raise your hand. Okay. So we're in closed session? Okay, we're back in session from closed session, and I hereby recess us to the Maxwell Center, where we're going to have lunch at the Farm Bureau
12 o'clock.
at 12